Hi there, I'm your study coordinator in Lillebaelt. So, you just graduated high school and decided to study abroad? Well, from all the places in the world, you might have just found your perfect match Denmark. Moving abroad and starting a new life in a different country can be stressful. We might think we are familiar with the culture when actually we don't know anything yet. As being a foreign student myself, I know exactly what it feels like. Here's some basic tips for starting off with your new exciting life in Denmark. First, learn, or at least try to learn, some Danish. It will help you to adapt to the society. There's free programs provided by the community. Next, get a bike. Most of the people take the bike instead of public transport. In addition to it being addictive, it's also a healthy alternative. Furthermore, get yourself some waterproof clothes. The weather here changes a lot. Be prepared for 4 seasons in one day, and all these before lunchtime. Moreover, learn to say thanks, tack, to everybody, classmates, teachers, bus drivers, and so on. It's a part of being polite. And lastly, take initiative. If you want to start up a conversation, just go for it. People will be sure to respond warmly. Talking about cultural diversity, Denmark is pretty rich. Odense especially, since it's considered a student city. Our newly finished campus has students pursuing their studies from many different nationalities. Therefore, we are more than happy to welcome you here. Thus, I have made a group on Facebook and added all of you. If you have any questions, you can simply post them there. It's also a good way for me to keep an eye on how you're doing. Moving to another topic, such as culture, which can be viewed like an onion. There's different layers to it which can be peeled off. Let's see the culture model of Denmark. Starting with the outer layer, official language of the country is Danish. Looking to the streets, you can see people wear mostly smart casual attire. The black and white is classic. And what was a completely new thing for me, very few people close their curtains. So, walking by, you can see as people go by their daily tasks at home. Peeling off that layer, we find that modesty and being practical is something Danish people appreciate. Keeping a fair line between work and personal relationships. Last layer includes mutual respect in local society, and, for example, flaunting of wealth is seen as a sign of poor manners. That means that people don't show off with the materialistic things they have. Since you all are coming from various countries, cultural differences may arise. It's important to respect other countries' cultures, and luckily Denmark doesn't have anything too backbreaking. We can look into it with Hall's cross-cultural theory. Denmark is considered more of a low-context country, which means their communication is more direct. They are more individualistic and value individual needs. It seems that they can change their minds quite quickly. Here, very little is taken for granted, and when explaining something, more explanation and all information is needed. Moving on to organizing time. Danes are very good at it. They do one thing at a time, which includes careful planning and scheduling, often putting their job first, but taking needed time for breaks and spending quality time with families. In school, The way of teaching is interactive and includes a lot of work in groups, thus the environment being relaxed and informal. When it comes to territoriality, some people need more space than others. In some cultures, it's common for people to stand close to each other while talking or greeting each other with a kiss. In Denmark, privacy and personal space is important. So when you're meeting new people, you can shake hands, or in an informal situation, give a hug. For those of you coming from Europe, it's not that much different because culture are quite similar. But those of you coming from outside of Europe, keep in mind to be polite and not start kissing or hugging Danes right away. They might get intimidated. The cultural misunderstandings may arise because Danes seem to be more reserved and considered not so open at first sight. But don't get discouraged by this. With time, they open up. Another thing important for Danes is being punctual, since they are rarely late. So try to be on time. For social occasions, you should try to learn how to introduce yourself in Danish. It might just help to break the ice. In conclusion, this little informative video was all for this time. I hope you learned something new and are as excited to be here as we are to welcome you. Don't forget, I'm always here if you need me. Just contact me on social media or find me in school. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the new chapter of your life.